Today I'm replacing rear wheel bearings on this 2009 Mazda 5, and I've already gotten it apart, and I wasn't going to videotape this, but there's a couple of things that are interesting. There's not a whole lot of room in here when you're working. This job would be really a lot easier if you had a car lift and could lift it up high. But because of that, you can't get under the car good. You know, you're on your back and stuff, and you're also reaching around behind the knuckle to get this stuff, if you call this a knuckle. But in order to make room, you've got to remove the shock. So remove the shock, make it easier on yourself. There's also a piece of plastic that was in my way. There may also be a fender liner that's missing on this car. It doesn't have it, but it had that piece that doesn't connect anything. Let's see. A surprise that these are bolts that hold the bearing in place. They're T50s, torque 50s. I was surprised to see this, but the reason they use these is there's no room to put a wrench around a hex head bolt, so that's why they use these. Probably use Loctite on these. I don't know what the type to tell you on that, but Loctite. Ask AutoZone or somebody if you're not sure. There's the old bearing there, and here's the new bearing. I bought a Mevotech and made in China, but I bought the Supreme model or whatever they call it. Costs a little bit more, it's supposed to be better quality, but still made in China, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll last, outlast the car for me. But you got to remove the brake dust shield. There it is. You also have to remove the brakes. That's what you do first. Take the wheel off, remove the brakes, and then start working to remove the bolts from the back. Oh, and you got to remove the shock. Don't forget to remove the shock. That's next. All right, well, just wanted to make some notes about this. I'm in the process of putting this back together. The first thing I've done is I put my anti-seize grease on this to keep it from rusting up. Probably don't have to do that. They didn't do it at the factory. I'm putting anti-seize on all the bolts that I'm installing as well. And the orientation of these only fit in one way. These two are wider than these two, so this will only mount in there one way. So you have to make sure you get this lined up with the shield, and this will be pointing towards the front of the car. So when you mount this in, the speed sensor pointing towards the front. You have to transplant this piece here. It's a small, it's an E6. It's an E6. It's kind of like an inverted star thing. And you'll see I removed it from this one and I put it on this one. And you just snug it down. You don't over tighten it. I think that's everything I want to say about this. Of course, you got to take the brake rotor off. I guess that's it. Let me start getting this back together. Okay, so there's basically two ways you can try to do this. You can put the bearing and the shield and hold it up with one hand and then reach around and try to install these one at a time. But I'm going to try it this way. You can easily install these by sticking your hand in there and putting them in through this big hole, and just get those in there, and then put the shield on it to kind of hold those in place, and then try to screw in the screws into the bearing, as it's away from the whatever you call that thing, the knuckle or whatever. So I'm going to try that and see how that goes. If that fails, then I'm going to do it the other way, where you put the bearing and the heat shield up against that and you hold it, and then you come from the back and try to feed the bolts in. Car back together, no real issues. Did have a little trouble with the internet though. The internet said these bolts that hold the T50 bolts that hold the bearing to the knuckle, I keep calling it a knuckle, I'm not sure what it is. Anyway, to the car, is supposed to be 88 foot-pounds. That is not right, okay? I looked in the manual, it's 50. So be careful there. If you go 80, you'll destroy something. If you go 88, you'll destroy something. So 50 foot-pounds is what I went with that. The shock torque was 20 foot-pounds for the two nuts at the top and 70 foot-pounds for the bottom bolt. The brake torques were 50 foot-pounds for the bracket and 20 foot-pounds for the sliders. And that's it. I can't think of any other torques that you really need. So anyway, this job is done. There's the old one there, old bearing. Still waiting on parts for this, so this will be a next weekend job. I'm really kind of pissed about that. I would have been done. And I can't do the other side. I can't do the other rear side until this one's done because I don't trust jacking up opposite of this jack. So I have to wait. So that's it for this video. Hope this helps somebody. Thanks a lot for watching.